For most of human history, social destiny was determined at the moment of birth. Early civilizations functioned as rigid, unyielding agrarian pyramids, where power, titles, and land were strictly inherited, leaving the vast majority of the population at the base. Navigating these complex societies required a way to instantly identify who held authority. Evolutionary psychology explains this through signaling theory, the reality that humans use visible, costly heuristics to assess social standing and alliances in a crowded world. In the ancient world, the most credible signals were geographic distance and human labor. When an object was sourced from thousands of miles away or required extreme effort to create, it became the ultimate proof of superior position. The Uluburun shipwreck provides archaeological evidence for this first global prestige economy. Mapped here, its cargo of 10 tons of copper and 1 ton of tin, alongside Egyptian ebony and Mesopotamian glass, traveled immense distances to reach the Mediterranean marketplace. These rare artifacts functioned as physical fortresses. They were used by ruling elites to visually communicate their monopoly on power and deliberately exclude the masses from the social hierarchy. This closed loop began to fracture as trade routes expanded through the Renaissance. Artisan guilds and banking systems created a prosperous merchant class that accumulated significant wealth outside traditional aristocratic bloodlines. The nobility viewed this rising commercial wealth as an existential threat. If a merchant could afford the same imported silks and intricate jewels as a duke, the visual legibility of the entire feudal order would collapse. Secular authorities responded with sumptuary laws, legislation designed to regulate consumption and make specific colors or fabrics explicitly illegal for anyone below the rank of knight or lady. These laws protected absolute status symbols like Tyrian purple. Produced by heating the mucus of predatory sea snails in lead pots for 10 days, the dye was so labor-intensive and expensive that wearing it became a legally protected marker of imperial authority. These laws frequently failed because the psychological drive for prestige was overwhelming. Merchants willingly risked judicial punishment and paid heavy fines to adopt forbidden items, using prohibited luxury to signal their rising social mobility. The Industrial Revolution delivered the final blow to these aristocratic monopolies. It replaced the legal restrictions on status with the capabilities of mass manufacturing, turning luxury into an affordable aspiration. English potter Josiah Wedgwood pioneered this shift by combining science with strategic marketing. He first secured the patronage of Queen Charlotte to establish unassailable high-end exclusivity for his cream-colored pottery. After capturing the elite market, Wedgwood transitioned to industrial scale. In 1782, he installed a steam-powered engine at his Etruria factory, allowing him to mass-produce high-status goods while maintaining the aesthetic illusion of prestige. To reach the public, he invented the infrastructure of modern retail. Wedgwood introduced illustrated catalogs, direct mail campaigns, and luxurious showrooms where the rising consumer class could view complete service sets. Wedgwood proved that status could be manufactured and sold to the masses. His success shifted the very definition of prestige from an inherited right to a product that could be purchased at a store. The emergence of the middle class is often viewed as a mechanical byproduct of factory wages. However, the archaeological and economic record suggests a deeper psychological driver. Historian Jan de Vries identifies an industrious revolution where a profound shift in consumer aspirations actually drove households to change their economic behavior. Families across Europe and North America deliberately reduced their leisure time to participate in the market. As this chart shows, household labor hours increased concurrently with the desire for new material goods. People worked longer and harder specifically to afford new luxury, goods that prioritized domestic comfort and bourgeois respectability over the decadent displays of the old aristocracy. This cultural identity materialized through an explosion of specialized ceramics, matched cutlery, and decorated household goods that appeared across a wide spectrum of income levels for the first time. The middle class forged its own identity through the act of consumption. They worked their way into the social hierarchy by acquiring the material markers of respectability. Throughout the 20th century, mass production made physical quality common, causing the value of luxury to shift toward the symbolism of its origin. Branding stepped into the void left by fading aristocracies, with recognizable logos and patterns replacing noble family crests as the primary markers of prestige. This creates a persistent modern paradox. In an era where the global middle class is already materially comfortable, the drive to consume costly status goods remains as intense as it was in the feudal era. In cities with hyper-inflated real estate markets like Vancouver, British Columbia, behavioral economics reveals how luxury items have adapted to modern financial pressures. In this specialized economy, luxury cars function as equity withdrawals with leather seats. Homeowners refinance their property to purchase supercars, transforming illiquid housing wealth into a highly visible public signal of liquidity. The market has become so financialized that developers now build car condos, multi-million-dollar units designed strictly to house and display vehicle collections, treating status symbols as high finance assets. These vehicles act as sophisticated financial instruments. Consumers use them to communicate their place in the hierarchy and assert dominance in crowded urban environments. As branded status becomes universally accessible to the middle class, the ultra-elite are pivoting toward a different signaling strategy. Recent studies identify a trend toward stealth wealth. Guided by privacy and elitism, elite consumers use inconspicuous consumption to forge exclusive social connections. This strategy relies on connoisseurship, the specialized knowledge required to recognize a bespoke, unbranded jacket, creating an invisible barrier to entry. Even as environmental concerns rise, the medium of the flex simply shifts. High-end electric vehicles like the Porsche Taycan carry the same social clout as V12 supercars, proving that the underlying psychological game remains identical. From Mesopotamian beads to today's unbranded jackets, the need to visually communicate our place in the social hierarchy remains a permanent feature of global commerce.